Admit it. In the 2 years that you have been driving, you have experienced road rage in some way. While many just feel slightly angry, certain factors push rage to become something much worse. Behaviors of road rage can range from yelling, shouting, and screaming to confrontation, bodily harm, and vehicle damage. Road rage is not caused by just one factor. Instead, there are multiple factors that contribute to it. There are 3 main factors that I explored to be causes of road rage: the tendency for people to blame others, brain disorders, and stress. One of the most common and dangerous things drivers do on the road is simply forget that cars on the road are other people too. This makes drivers more susceptible to blame others for personal mistakes. Lawrence. The attribution theory explains why we blame our situation for our behaviors, but blame another's personality for their actions. McLeod. For example, you are more likely to blame an external factor to why you ran the stop sign rather than yourself. But if someone else runs the stop sign, you criticize them as being irresponsible or a jerk. Because of the attribution theory, we correlate a person's traffic offense to their personality rather than giving them the benefit of the doubt. As Hasley from the Washington Post said, the number of people who admit they feel uncontrollable anger toward another driver has doubled since 2005. This means the tendency to blame others on the road is increasing. Stress is common on the road, but many people believe that stress is the only cause of road rage. While stress is a big factor, it is not the only trigger. Kirchner. As you can see, death from road rage incidents are increasing, telling us that road rage has multiple contributing factors. Kay Hafford's story is a prime example of how road rage can push the limit. Seeing someone driving recklessly, she felt obliged to honk her horn. The driver of the motor vehicle responded, violently trying to get her to roll down her window. When she refused, the driver retaliated angrily and shot her in the head. She lives to tell her story to a Texas news team. She asked, "I'm trying to figure out, was he mad before?" Emotional story. She imposes a good question. He could have very well been mad previously before the incident, or it could have been something much more complex, which is why psychologists try to find the answers within the brain. There are multiple factors that affect the brain that open up a person to road rage. Things like intermittent explosive disorder, inflammatory markers, and axis 2 disorders. Axis 2 disorders are simply psychological defects of the brain. An example of axis 2 disorders is borderline personality disorder, or BPD. BPD causes paranoia, anger, and impulsiveness. Axis 2 disorders also include antisocial personality disorder, which can induce reckless behavior and aggressive tendencies. Sanso. Anger, impulsiveness, and risky behaviors all increase a person's chance to have an episode of road rage. Another brain disorder that has correlation to road rage is intermittent explosive disorder, or IED. People with IED react violently and have aggressive verbal outbursts. While IED does not directly cause road rage, it does have some correlation. Kirchner. A study conducted revealed that people who express sudden episodes of aggressive behavior may be reacting from an increase in inflammatory markers. Inflammatory markers work with the nervous system when the body is stressed, and an increase in these markers causes an increase in aggression. It is important to note, people with elevated inflammatory markers usually also have IED. Carrico. It is important to not count out stress. Stress itself is a factor of road rage, but factors can range from simple stressors to complex disorders like IED and BPD. Kirchner. The causes of road rage may not ever be fully discovered, but knowing what correlates with road rage and taking that into account while driving can mean the difference between an average commute to work and a day in the ER. What drivers should know is that road rage is a growing issue as cities become more and more crowded. Kirchner. Noticing and recognizing it is the first step to limiting its fatal and horrible outcomes. Driving carefully, remaining cautious, and staying calm at all times will prevent you from having a bad encounter with road rage.